The winner of Survivor Winners at War, Tony. Congratulations, Tony.
Hey, talent recap. The queen stays queen.
All right, what's going on, Talent Recap and Survivor fans? I'm Lauren Ashley Beck from season 39, Island of the Idols, and joining us to recap the epic finale of last night is the one and only queen of Survivor, Sandra Diaz-Twine. Sandra, how are you doing today, girl?
I'm wonderful, wonderful, happy about the finale. It was phenomenal. I keep saying it was the best season, in my opinion, in the entire Survivor franchise.
I totally agree. So we saw Tony take the crown as the second two-time winner of Survivor, which has birthed some of the funniest memes I think I've ever seen of you and Tony sitting side by side. What do you think of Tony's win of Winners at War?
He deserved his win. I mean, he worked really, really hard. You know, towards the beginning, I knew, like, if they don't take this guy out, he's going to take it all. Although Tony is my friend, but at the end of the day, it is $2 million. So definitely he worked for it. I mean, he was up in the trees. He was controlling a lot of things. Natalie came back with some horrible news for him, and he had to work for it, but he deserved it. He deserved it. All 39 days he put in work.
He definitely did. He played an excellent game. I want to ask you, because there's been a lot of stuff out there about people saying that there was a sort of Survivor pagonging with all of the old school players. Did you expect that it was going to be like that when you went out there, that all of either the old school or new school would go out first?
I didn't expect that, and a lot of that was our own fault because, like, for instance, Tyson going home. Tyson went home because on day 3 he had thrown my name out. He threw out Sarah's name, and we weren't happy, and we were thinking, if we continue to win, there's a chance that he can go to the other side with Boston Rob, you know? And so we were like, we got to get Tyson out early. So Tyson went home on account of, you know, we did it to ourselves. Right. As far as an old school player. And even with Amber going home, Amber went home because Tyson was supposed to go home, but he threw her under the bus and he wanted to save himself. So again, a lot of the times we did it to ourselves. It wasn't that Yul or Nick or Wendell or Sophie or Kim, you know, they were coming after us. We did it to ourselves.
Well, that's great. It's definitely great to get an insider's perspective because we don't know what went on. We only see what we see or what's shown on TV. So last night after the episode, you took to Twitter and said, the Queen Slayer is finally gone. Do you think Denise deserved that title of the Queen Slayer?
We had known each other for a while. I wanted to play with the game with her. We had... You know, although they show me and Kim talking, I'm like, oh, Denise, you're great. But I was doing that because we were in Kim's presence. But on the side, I was like, Denise, I want to play with you. You know, I want you to trust me. You know, I have this idol. You're a woman of your word. I know I can trust you. Jeremy has to go. And she was down with it. So I let down my guard simply because I thought, okay, and I'm going to gain 2 fire tokens. So it was more or less, I guess, that you allow things from outside the game to influence you inside the game. I just had certain people that I wanted to play the game with, and she was one of them.
Yeah, and there's so much history to you guys. Some of you guys have known each other for 20 years. It's like you become family. So those outside influences definitely influence the game. I want to talk about this moment last night between Ben and Sarah, where Ben gave Sarah permission, essentially, or should I say Lucina, permission to vote him out.
Just hear me out. If you want to put my name down, use that as your resume and win it, I'm for it. Listen, that way you can't say you got drugged on. You know what I'm saying?
Are you being serious?
I'm being 100% serious. I love you. You have my permission.
Do you think that that was a smart move on Ben's part? Or why do you think Ben did that?
I think the game was taking an emotional toll on him. And like he kept saying that when he won, he was not happy. A lot of us feel like that. We can't make everybody happy. Everyone's not going to automatically be our fans. And for some reason, he took it really, really hard, his win. And him and Sarah, I believe, knew each other also before the game and had bonded. and they were playing together, and they were lucky to have an alliance together, and he knew somebody had to go home. But had he not given her that permission, I don't know that she would have, done that to him, and he might have been saved, but the fact that he gave her the permission and she thought she had no alternative, she took it and ran with it. But at the end of the day, he's happy with the outcome. She might not be, but he's happy. So it is what it is. And I don't think, had he gotten to the end, that anyone would have rewarded him either, because, it's not like he had a lot of friends, in the jury anyway.
Sure. I want to talk about that moment between Sarah and Tony, Cop Star Us Alliance, the very end. What do you think, like, to have Sarah say, if anybody is going to take me out, I want it to be somebody that's you, Tony. Why do you think she said that?
It's the respect that they have for each other. The fact that they played together, and he did her dirty at first, and then we went to Game Changers. And I remember when the tribe swap happened and I encountered Sarah for the very first time, she said to me, "Thank you for taking out Tony," because she didn't want to have to deal with him. And then I got taken out by her. So after that, you have to remember that, again, these relationships are outside of the Survivor we see on TV, because Sarah is known as Aunt Sarah to Tony's kids, and Sarah's son is known, Uncle Tony,
right,
to Sarah's son. So they have years of relationships that no one else is going to be able to penetrate. A lot of people had that.
right.
Rob had Amber out there. Sarah had Tony.
What do you say to the naysayers, Sandra, that say that you don't deserve your title because you raised the white flag?
First of all, I won 10 seasons ago, 20 years ago, my second title. That ain't never going to change. The check in the bank says so. The fact that I didn't want to partake in a twist because I was voted out of the game. That part was over. Choosing to stay on Edge of Extinction was a choice, and it was a twist. Either you stay or you don't. After the fact, I wish they would have said, "Hey, Sandra, you're going to be on the jury no matter what happens." Maybe then I would have stuck around. But at the end of the day, when I play Survivor, I don't play Survivor to sit on the jury. I play to win. And I had been voted out. I hated the outcast twist in season 7, Pearl Islands, and that was in 2002, 2003. So of course, I'm gonna hate Edge of Extinction. I hated Edge of Extinction. Because outwitting, outlasting, outplaying. Outlasting means you stay the whole 39 days. It's not get out and hopefully cross your fingers and get a chance to return to the game. I'm old school. I'm sorry. It's just not for me.
Yeah, and I think you have to know your limits. You have to know how you want to play your game, and I think that you did that so well. I'm still learning from you, Queen. So did you go on a pre-merge trip?
Yes,
did you go on a pre-jury trip?
Yeah, I ended up, I was in Australia, in Sydney for about a week and a half. And when I saw everything there was to see there and everything there was to eat, and, we went to the best restaurants, just me and Mike, my handler. And we did all the tourist attractions, and we saw like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like front row to Harry Potter. There was another play we went to. I can't even remember what it's called. But anyway, we saw everything there was to see. We ate everything there was to eat. I did a lot of shopping. And then it was like, wait, we're done with Sydney. Now what? So Jeff gave me permission and allowed me to go to Melbourne. So then we flew into Melbourne, and there my week and a half started again over there. So I really got to enjoy Australia, and I don't regret it. A lot of the people on the edge after the fact told me, "Damn, Sandra, I shouldn't have sat there on the edge for all those days suffering when there was obviously no chance that I was going to get back in the game." But that's things we realize after the fact.
Sure. Okay, so everyone on the edge, Sandra, had a moment to sort of reflect last night. Survivor really loves those human connection moments. When you look back on your Survivor experience in its entirety, what sort of emotion is drawn up within you when you just look back on everything that you've accomplished over these past?
Oh man, I've done these interviews out there after leaving the Edge of Extinction, and I was in tears, like, I can't believe that Survivor has been such a huge part of me. You know, 39 days in the Pearl Islands, 39 days Heroes versus Villains, 16 days on Game Changers, 36 days on Island of the Idols, another 16 days on Winners at War. Like, count that up. I haven't even added that stuff up. And it's not like you go home after those 16 days. We still got to stay there for what, 45 days between going and coming back, if not more. And my husband would tell me, like, baby, like you've done more than a whole year on Survivor, probably. I don't know. Like I said,
I would assume so. Yeah.
but it's been 17 years of my life, and I'm one of the lucky ones that, you know, every couple of years I get a call back and I'm able to return. There was something about me that they love seeing, and I thank them every single day. And like I told Jeff and Mark Burnett, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have a lot of things that I have today, and that I live the life that I have, and I'm able to do the things that I've done. I mean, maybe I would have been able to do them, but not at, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I have a lot of freedom now because of Survivor. When I saw Mark Burnett and he came out there for Winners at War, we were doing a challenge and I had my back turned, and it was crazy because he comes from the side all the way to only me to hug me and talk to me real quick, and then he took off. And I was like, you know, he's like, oh my God, I can't believe you're out here again. Look at what we've done. We, you know, because he always says we, because the players make it what it is. You know, the production team and everyone else, everyone does their part. But at the end of the day, it's the players that the fans love or hate.
That's absolutely true. It's beautiful and crazy all at once. How have you changed since the first time you stepped on that island?
You know, people always ask me that, and I want to say that I don't think that I've changed.
Interesting.
Even when I would take the test that they give us before getting back on the show, they would show me the scores, and they're like, damn, Sandra, like your scores are identical. If you put them one on top of the other, the little bars go up and down in the same spots. Um, I was I was always outgoing and a talker my first couple of seasons anyway, and then it was highlighted more on in Game Changers simply because I couldn't hide anywhere. You know, I had a big bullseye. I was the only one sitting there already a two-time winner. So I was more vocal maybe. But at the end of the day, I want to think that I've played the same game. But in Winners at War, I did try to change. I didn't want to play as long as it's not me. I wanted to do something different. I played with my heart. And that's what I do regret. I should have just stuck to what always worked for me, which is not give a damn about anybody else and just keep it moving. Because day 16 shouldn't have been my last day on Winners at War.
I agree.
And I did that to myself.
Well, you know, owning it is the first step, and it's so hard. I think so many people don't realize how much goes into playing the game until you're actually out there. I want to know what you think are the qualities that make a strong Survivor player, because I'm not a challenge beast, but I still like to think I could play the game. What do you think is a good quality of a Survivor player?
I mean, see, and that's the thing. If you don't have the physical strength to win challenge after challenge after challenge, you got to have something else. And for me, it was always my social game. A lot of times people would say, oh, Sandra's out there. Oh, she'll be the first one voted out. Or the minute her tribe goes to tribal council, she'll be the first one gone. And it's not the case. Like I tell them, if you get to know me, I try to build a one-on-one relationship with every single person out there. Lauren, you know this, to where you think you're my best friend. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yes.
And that is so important because you want to give the $1 million to someone you like. You know, not that people are bitter, but you just want to like the winner, and you want to know that you gave, you know, that you were responsible with your vote, and that person has $1 million because you liked them, you enjoyed them, they valued you, they cared about what you had to say, they listened when you were talking, you were a shoulder to cry on. So at the end of the day, I think above everything else, a social game is very important, more important than strategic or even physical. Physical, I think, is the last thing. Strategic, yeah, you got to make strategic moves. Like Tony was up in the damn tree. You know what I'm saying? Like I would rarely go and talk at the water well because I knew Tony was around there somewhere. I don't know that I would have ever looked up in the tree, to be honest with you. So strategy, you have to be able to bounce back, roll with the punches. People are not going to always agree with your strategy. You got to know when to hold back and when to, just be like, okay, whatever happens, happens. It's not my fault. Like Tony, for instance, telling Sarah, what if Natalie has an idol? Oh no, she ain't got an idol. I have done that to where I'm like, oh no, there's no way. Oh no, I know, like with Denise, there was no way she had an idol. I was her day 16 savior,
Yes. I know. What's next for you, Queen?
I don't know. I mean, my husband retires in 2 years, and when he retires, I'm retired. I don't know if we're gonna ride around in an RV and do the lower 48s like he says and go visit all the national parks. I'm ready to stay put and go home. But if that's what my king wants, then so be it.
That's great.
He's put in 28 years now. It'll be 30 in 2 years, and we're ready to do things together. And I still haven't gone to Hawaii. Remember, I was supposed to go to Hawaii. I went to Island of the Idols. Then this year we were gonna go to Hawaii, and then coronavirus hit, and I'm still here.
So Sandra, where can people find you on social media?
Oh my God, if I gotta sit here and tell you my handles.
Okay, her handle is
the worst.
At Sassy SDT. And then I think you're at Sandra Diaz-Twine
on one of them, or Sandra D-Twine,
yeah,
or
we'll put it down there for you guys. So Sandra, the last question I have for you is, I know you said you're gonna retire, but I watched your Ponderosa video this morning, and you said there's just something about when Jeff Probst calls you that you cannot say no. So Sandra, does that mean that there's a possibility that you may play Survivor again?
I think the fact that a lot of people didn't understand me leaving the edge of extinction or not sitting on the jury, and saying quitter, I think that for a reason like that, like I might reconsider going back. But it's just that after Island of the Idols and Winners at War, like it had taken such a toll on my body, and I'm not as young as I used to be. It was hard at 27, 28 years old, putting one foot in front of the other after 39 days of starving. And then again in Heroes versus Villains. And now I'm 45. Like it just gets harder and harder. And those challenges get harder and harder too. I was telling my husband, like, I would still be right now trying to walk up the steps to that slide, like, or that rope bridge, or tossing a ball and hoping you run across the little things to catch it. Like, I just kept watching Michelle and saying, oh my God, like, I would be the worst at that, Michelle. If only I was out there, you wouldn't be the worst one. Like, physical challenges for me, it's just not my thing. I don't know, Lauren, to be honest with you. I mean, it's hard to tell Jeff, no. You know what? Jeff can call me when it's time to mentor someone with Tony, the king and the queen. Call me, Jeff. Or like I told him, if there's a reward and the person gets to go spend the day with me, hey, I'll do it. But living out there, girl, I don't know if my back could take it, because that bamboo is no joke.
No joke. Yeah.
I would wake up with bruises everywhere, and I bruise easily. Every day I had a new bruise. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy. And it takes a toll on your body. And my hat goes off to you, Sandra, for playing. You were out there for 36 days. Then again, you came back and played. I just can't imagine what that turnaround must have been like. Did you even get to go home in between that time? Or did you stay?
Oh, I did. Jeff asked us maybe about 10 days before Island of the Idols was over if we would consider returning. He didn't say it was a winners. He asked me and Rob together, and that's when I said yes, and he said no. And that was the last that was said of that, remember?
Yes.
So then we go back home, and I think I had about 2 weeks, a little bit less, because the flight leaving Fiji from Island of the Idols actually got delayed. So by the time I landed in California, I had missed my flight. So then I had to spend another day in California before getting out. And then they pushed me out in the evening. So like right there, I had lost 2 of my 14 days just traveling back home. And then it wasn't like I got to relax. It was like, okay, we need this wardrobe duplicated and we need you to go get this and we need this. So it wasn't like I was home chilling. Now I was home getting ready for the next season, you know?
Yeah.
And then again, the travel back. So, but I don't regret any of it, you know. Jeff calls me, I say yes. So Jeff, call me if you need a mentor, or if you need a reward, you know, like somebody to chill on the exile boat or whatever. I'm here, but another 39-day trip, I don't know if I got it in me.
Oh, I love you so much. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Sandra. You are such a treat. You will always be the queen in my heart. Talent recappers, we want to know what you guys thought about the epic season finale. Do you think Tony deserved to win? Drop all of your thoughts in the comments below. We'll see you next time. And that was your Survivor Talent Recap. Bye, guys.